Sodom and Gomorrah. Long ago, in the land of Canaan, there were two great cities called Sodom and Gomorrah. These cities were rich and busy. Their markets were full, their houses were strong, and their people had everything they needed. But though they had much, they had forgotten something very important. They had forgotten how to live right before God and how to care for one another. The people of Sodom and Gomorrah were proud. They were cruel to strangers, careless with the poor, and bold in doing what was wrong. Day after day, they chose evil and laughed at goodness. The Bible tells us that their sin became so great that it cried out to God. Not far from these cities lived a man named Abraham, a friend of God. One day, the Lord spoke with Abraham and revealed that he was going to judge Sodom and Gomorrah because of their wickedness. When Abraham heard this, his heart became heavy. He knew there were still some people who might be good. So Abraham pleaded with God. Lord, he said,
45, 40, 30, 20, even 10. And
God answered, if I find 50 righteous people, I will spare the
If we
city.
find 10 righteous
Abraham
people in
continued,
Sodom and Gomorrah,
45,
I will
40,
not destroy
30,
it.
20, even 10. And God, full of mercy, said, if I find 10 righteous people, I will not destroy it. Then the Lord sent two angels to Sodom to see the city for themselves. When they arrived, they were met by Lot, Abraham's nephew, who lived there. Lot welcomed them into his home, showing kindness in a city that had forgotten what kindness was. But as night fell, the men of the city surrounded Lot's house, demanding evil things. This showed just how deep the city's corruption had become. The angels struck the men with blindness and said to Lot, this city will be destroyed. Take your family and leave at once. Do not look back. At dawn, the angels urged Lot, his wife, and his two daughters to flee. God's mercy was still reaching out, even in judgment. They ran toward the mountains as the sun rose. Then it happened. Fire and brimstone fell from heaven. Sodom and Gomorrah were destroyed. The cities that had once been full of noise and pride were reduced to silence. The land was burned, and the wickedness that had filled it was gone. But as Lot's family fled, his wife looked back. Her heart was still tied to the city. And in that moment, she turned into a pillar of salt, a reminder that clinging to sin can cost us everything. Lot and his daughters escaped, saved by God's mercy. Later, Abraham stood on a hill and looked toward the valley. Smoke rose like a furnace. The cities were gone, but God had remembered the righteous. The lesson, the story of Sodom and Gomorrah, is not just about destruction. It is about choices. God is patient and merciful, but he is also just. He listens when the righteous pray. He rescues those who obey him. And he warns us not to love a sinful life more than the truth. It reminds us that kindness matters, obedience matters, and righteousness matters, even when the whole world is choosing another way. And above all, it shows us this: God's mercy always comes before his judgment.